stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to RoyalBluFX. In today's video, I quickly wanted to go over 2 trades that we took today. So this will be a trade recap video. We took the 2 trades on US 30 index. So for those that follow the US 30 index, this will be a good beneficial video for you. And also it'll be a good beneficial video for those that are trading smart money concepts or any type really. But without any further ado, let's begin. So we were here on the 1 minute. I generally tend to scalp most of the time because scalp is so beneficiary for me because of my time and how much I value my time. But and I'm quickly in the markets in and out fast. So in this video or in this trade per se, I took these trades. I looked at the 1 minute as my higher time frame. So what I did was I zoomed out, right? When I'm on the 1 minute, I generally zoom out to see which direction the market is in generally. The direction you can see is all bearish here, right? And at the same time, what I typically try and do is I try and mark out my supply and demand zones. So that way, the major supply and demand zones, so I can have a good look and feel of where the market is. So in this case, you can see that there's an extreme low right over here and an extreme high, right? So we know price should generally push back all the way somewhere about the 50% way, or maybe the extreme high on the 1 minute, right? So I marked out our breaker structure here, as you can see, right? And then you can see all the way down here. I went all the way down here to kind of see what's happening all the way at this bottom level where price actually flipped. You can see here that price flipped right over here, and then once price came down, it flipped, right, and then it mitigated. So I knew this order block here was mitigated and price just continued going bullish from here. Then we saw another break of structure and then another flip. What I could see here, was price just barely nicked the high over here, but it didn't fully mitigate. Right, so typically what I see in the markets most of the time is when price retraces and you see this sort of formation happening, this area, the way this price is mitigating like this, it hasn't fully mitigated until price actually touches or impales the the order block or this demand zone. You can see also this area here. Here's our extreme low, right? You can see a lot of liquidity as well right below here, right there. So this told me, okay, well, I didn't mark them out. I didn't mark the liquidity or anything out. I just marked that extreme low, right? And I could see that price had to touch one of these two, right? So when price came all the way down here and it mitigated, right? Notice how the wicks, or at least most of the candles, went right inside our zone here. And so this was my sort of anticipation to say to myself, okay, well, I know we're bullish if price is touching this this demand level, right? But I know at the same time we're bearish, right? And for the bearish downtrend, there's no price isn't near an area where we're looking for to sell at this point, right? You can see there's a break of structure here, there's another break of structure here, but I'm not focusing on these areas so intently as opposed to what is actually happening in here. Okay, so this may be a little tricky for most of you guys, but for me, I generally like seeing when price breaks like this, fully bearish like this, and then just waiting patiently for price to push up right into an area where there's an order block like this, for example, right? So what I did was, this may have been some sort of an aggressive way of trading, but I trade like this a lot of the times too when price hasn't fully retraced. Anyway, just to get back down to the core of what this video is about, why I was here at this point in time where price was, I believe it was right here. Yeah. Okay, so price just made these two bottoms right here, right? It formed these two bottoms. And then I was thinking to myself, okay, well, let's look at this area here. When I marked out this flip zone here, you can see that this wick here just barely like surfaced. It barely touched really the order block here. So I mean, it actually touched it, but it didn't fully like mitigate the entire thing. So what I was telling myself was, okay, price needs to push up all the way here. It needs to mitigate or do something, right? Here, I was looking for price to push up. I see that there's a high and that there's a low here. Price broke this area. So my anticipation was, okay, well, if we get a chalk here, if we get like some sort of break of structure here, then I know price needs to come and mitigate here because price has a protected low here. And then we would be only targeting this order block here. Then we look for a potential buy to the upside like this. So I just waited patiently for price to come up. It came up here. It didn't really stop here. It didn't give us a flip or anything. Price just paused there. I mean, sorry, price just broke through it and came and mitigated this entire order block. So once that happened, I scaled all the way down to 5 seconds, and then I was looking for price to change its order flow, right, from bullish to bearish. You can clearly see here we're bullish at this point, right, and now price is going bearish. And so what I did here was I saw that we had another protected high here. Right, you can see that there's liquidity resting right above. You can also, when you zoom out, you can also see that liquidity was actually taken out by, this move took out this liquidity here. But at the same time, we broke bullish, which gave us that chalk, right? We broke that low, we broke that high. There's a confirmation here now that tells us price should be going up, right? And you might be, to your surprise, you might be thinking, well, why are you looking for a sell, right? Well, generally, in most cases, when prices, when there's a chalk like this, prices do retrace back to an area to a demand, and back to an area where the order block is, right? I'm not going to go too further into details about like where the order block is in here per se, but I'm going to show you how I took this trade and why I took this trade. So the reason why I was taking this trade, or I was looking to sell, is because I knew price had to go bearish here based off of one of two things. We had an area of supply here, and then we had the chalk. Okay, normally when there's a chalk, price is trying to decide and change direction, right? So we knew price had to come and mitigate before price pushed up. Generally speaking, when prices are changing direction, they're changing, they're showing a chalk. Price normally breaks and mitigates just a few times or maybe a couple of times, then price just goes like this. So you wouldn't have you wouldn't have a chance to like catch any trades anywhere on this leg here or anything like this, right? Price generally tends to spread out. It doesn't break and mitigate like this. It doesn't do this for a long time. All right, we would consider this as a healthy order flow, like this: break and mitigate, and then take off. We're looking for this sort of extension to push prices to the upside like this. So what I generally was looking for here was like, okay, this told me price needed to mitigate at least once, right? If it doesn't mitigate once, then price, it's not a true healthy mitigation, or healthy order flow. So price came here. As you see, I was scoping out this high here and this low. I was waiting for price to do something here. Well, here you can see that there's a flip that happened right there. And then I didn't mark this out, but you can tell this is like inducement here. You can tell this is a order block here. You can see how price stopped here, pushed up, and then broke below like this. So I can tell that price came and mitigated this high here. This low to this high here, and mitigated, and then just flipped and pushed bearish. So this gave me an indication. I said to myself, okay, well, there's inducement there now. We're going to count that as inducement and not as a flip, because you can see here this order block here was not mitigated, right? So what else do we see? Well, we see a chalk as well, right? Price broke above, price broke below, price came up, mitigated this, and then pushed bearish. So this gave me more confirmation in this video, in this trade, that price should go bearish here. Right over here you can see there's a chalk breaking above and another chalk breaking below, right? So this also tells me, okay, well, we're bearish and there's another chalk. So I looked up all the way back up. I tried to look to see where that order block was, and obviously this was the unmitigated order block. We could tell that this was the inducement. So we just waited patiently for price to get up there, right? Despite what price is doing here, I wasn't looking for buys now. I was just waiting for price to show me that it could go bullish here and it could tap this area, the unmitigated area, and we could go bearish here. As soon as price tapped, we took that trade. We were almost taken out here, because look at that wick right there, right? I mean, it's just on the surface of that risk right there. Once I'm in, I'm in. I'm not getting out until price takes me out, obviously fully. Then price goes bearish like this. I'm thinking to myself, okay, cool. Price is going down. I'm not looking for any more entries because of how high risk, how big and high risk this trade is, based off of sort of this whole scenario, right? We're actually selling a retracement. We're not really going towards the trend anymore because of price breaking bullish like this. So we're actually taking a retracement, and retracement, as we all know, are a lot more high of a risk than they are a safer risk, right? Or a more of a confirmation risk, should I say, of a trade. So notice how price is going bullish, right? I was thinking to myself, okay, well, I'm still in this trade. I haven't taken any partials out since I'm generally scalping. I don't take partials most of the time because this is a fast market. The 5-second time frame is fast. So therefore I stayed in this trade, right? Still thinking to myself, okay, well, I know this is a retracement, and I know price should come and tap here because this is the area where price should come and mitigate, because we need price to break and give us a chalk and come and mitigate fully. At least give me one chalk that could fully come and mitigate, right? So I stuck to this trade, telling myself, okay, this is still bearish. Obviously, we're not freaking out. We're just staying in, believing ourselves that this trade should play out. Once price got to this low, I was like, all right, I see that price hasn't broken this low. I'm still bearish here. I'm still analyzing it, thinking, should I take more sells here? And obviously, I was looking at this here. You can see here's another flip, right? And here's another entry where I could have taken. Although I didn't took it because, again, this is still of a high risk trade, to be honest. And so that's why I didn't take anything at this point. So as price is going, right, I could have sold it here. I could have sold it here again, but I didn't. Obviously, when you're coming close to your destination, you don't necessarily want to keep taking more sells because the trade is less probable to happen, right? There's so much choppiness going on here that, it's nuts, right? You don't want to continue exposing yourself to more risk when you're at least coming down to an area where you're supposed to end, your destination. So price played out perfect, right? And it tapped me to the T right there, right? So I was like, all right, I'm out of this trade. I got out of this trade, made our money, and we got out, right? At the same time, you're probably thinking, well, okay, why are you looking for buys now, right? And most traders might think to themselves, okay, well, you're obviously looking for buys because you have a chalk here, right? Which is fully understandable, right? So I was looking for buys here. Regardless what the market was doing here now, I was looking for buys. I was actually looking to see if price could come even deeper into this area here and tap this area of supply. If it gave me this full deep retracement and actually fully, mitigate this entire order block on the 1 minute. As I mentioned, when price touches this order block here, like it just touches the surface, right, by a hair, and then price pushes up. I know this order block hasn't been fully mitigated. So but I still stayed into my strategy, right? I still stayed into my rules. I waited for price to push bullish here, and then I waited for price to do this, just exactly like this. I could see here. This is actually a very risky way to trade, although if you're on our course, obviously you'd understand why we took this trade exactly. So we took a buy here, all right, because price actually touched our demand area just by a hair. We still had this high and this low here, so we're actually technically we're going against the trade if you're looking against this this downtrend here. Price hasn't actually turned bullish yet, right? And as you see here, to some, this could be a chalk, right? You can see there's a chalk here, and here's your flip, and there's your buy, right? At the same time, I just bought here because I know there's a simple strategy, a simple method that we use to take these type of trades, and you know, price will go towards your direction, right? So once price pushed up here, I noticed obviously we're not bullish just yet. We do have a chalk here, however, but we can see the extreme high here hasn't been broken yet. So my anticipation was, okay, well, price is mitigating something high here. As you can see that there's an order block here, this high here, right over here, right? It's mitigating this, and then price price went bearish, right? So this got me a little freaked out, but not too much, because I was fully entrusting my strategy and the trade that we took. Obviously, you can see that my risk was just a bit below the actual supply zone right there. So it looked like it took me out again. But we fully trusted this process again and just waited for price to push bullish. Obviously, the 5 seconds is so fast that, you know, you're in and out quickly. So again, I'm entrusting my process that price should push up, and we're only taking high probable trades in this case, nothing less than that, right? So I targeted this high here, expecting for price to go up and tap this high here. Why this high? Well, because price was it was much safer to attack this high than just this high here. We knew we were on a demand here. While price tapped demand, we knew that price should at least touch, you know, this high here, right? It could touch any of these highs. Any of these could be your TPs, but we just generally touch something here where price could just maybe touch the area of supply here, and then be done with the trade. I'm in and out, right? Obviously, if I stayed in it longer, would have made more money, but that's not the point of this for me as a trader, right? I'm in and out. I don't care about any other trades or any other. I don't care how far the market will go from here. So this is how I took these buys and sells, right? So yeah, lastly here, you can see where price rejected our high here and fully pushed right back here, mitigated this high, pushed all the way back and retraced to mitigate this last flip area. You can see that there's a flip based off of this move here, right there. Okay, price came up, came down, rejected, then pushed down, then flipped all of a sudden. So this was your buy here, and boom, you would have been good for the rest of the day. So we pretty much ended up with a 8% right there and a 9%. So we're pretty good for the whole entire day. Some of you guys may think I'm on replay, but I'm not on replay. Here we go. So we're currently right now at this point in time. Oh, and would you look at this? I was looking for a buy, and there we go. Touched my area of demand, and it pushed up. So I would have been good for another trade had I not done this video for you guys. But anyway, I hope you guys understand how I took these two trades. If you have any more questions, please leave comments below and put a huge thumbs up for this video, because your support really helps this channel. And until then, guys, I will see you soon.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up.